My mic is on. Is this on? Can you hear me? It's on? How come we're not hearing this then? Did you hear this? Now you did. Sorry. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming today. Everybody can hear. It's not on? Adam, is the mic on? Is it me? How about now? No?
How about push up the pulpit?
Push down.
Up, down. I'm so confused. How about this?
No, I don't think it's working.
I feel like it's not me. I have a loud voice. How about if I do this?
No, he needs to get that corrected because they won't hear.
Oh, they won't hear us online. Okay. Well, welcome. Any good news? Oh my God. Remember, I don't know if you remember the last time I was the worship leader and I said, we like it when things go wrong. It just makes for a much better situation, so phew. We got, right, exactly. Today we're going to talk about labor. And what comes to mind when you hear that word, labor? Is it our daily work, paid or unpaid? If we add a U, lights now too. If we add a U to labor, the way the British spell it, we get a Canadian or a political party in the UK and Canada. Is it the effort, as some of us are very familiar with, of giving birth? That's also labor. We won't share those stories today. But let us learn about and honor all of our labors today. And in particular, let's celebrate our labors of love. There are many. Welcome to All Souls. We're so fortunate today, again, to have Emma Grabner. And please stand if you can, in body or in spirit, as we sing our opening song, As We Come Marching, Marching. Thank you. Thank you, Emma. We're at the time in our service where we're going to greet each other, but before we do that here in person, let's turn around and wave to the online pews and welcome them. Is there anybody here for the first time today? Oh, look at those hands. Whoa! A whole row, yay! Be prepared to be overwhelmed. because we're all anxious to greet you and welcome. So why don't we spend a moment now and collectively greet each other with our elbows, or however you're comfortable today doing that. Always. When you have kids or you've taught, both. There'll be more time for socialization immediately following the service. As we do every week, we want to acknowledge the people who owned this land before us. We acknowledge the Nahantic, Mohegan, Mashantucket Pequot, and Eastern Pequot people as the traditional caretakers of the land on which we worship. We honor and pay respect to these tribes, their ancestors and their lineage, who today uphold traditional practices, art, and education. We now ask Judy and Nora to come forward. These ladies will be our reflectors today, but they're also going to light the chalice for us and the candle of peace. So first, let's do the chalice, and we'll read this together. Okay, ready? On this Sunday before Labor Day, we light this flame to honor all our work. Not only the work we do physically with our hands or our minds work to earn a living. Yes, that is important, but we also honor the work we do for love. Thank you. And now for our peace candle, which we know every week there's a need that so many have for peace. But we know right now either the children, the teachers, and the staff have returned to school, and in particular, those that have experienced violence this past week. 2 young lives were lost, Fletcher and Harper. May their families eventually know peace. Thank you. Our reading today is from the UUA Worship website with some edits. And it was written by, this essay was written by Jennifer Willett. What images come to mind when we think of Labor Day? Chances are you think of this holiday weekend with celebrations with your loved ones. The federal holiday, unions, and the cause of a working wage and benefits. Maybe the history of the struggle of working people to have a fair share of the profits from their work. Those are all great. Now I want you to think of your parents and caregivers, the person that fed you, bathed you, nurtured you, and taught you the building blocks of how to be in this world. Now think of your seasoned elders. Who shops for them, goes to the doctors with them, and cares for them when they begin to fail? Now think of those that have physical or mental challenges of differing degrees. They come in all ages. Who assists them in the daily tasks that make their day-to-day life easier and sometimes possible at all? Much of this work is unpaid labor, yet the work of homemaking, childcare, elder care, and differently abled care isn't part of our economic system. It doesn't count in our gross domestic product, but our society would collapse without it. Now consider the other non-paid labor we do to mentor, to educate, to assist, to advocate, to entertain, and enrich the community, the country, and the world. Think of all that we do for our neighbors, our friends, our community to make life better. This is labor. A paycheck isn't the only measure of your work. Without this labor, our world would be a lonelier and more desperate place. Honor your labor. If you work for money, this holiday is for you. If you work for love, this holiday is also for you. Your work makes the world better. Enjoy your day. Musical meditation. Thank you. Thank you, Emma. And now, since this is our Labor Day service, both Judy and Nora are going to provide us with some reflections. And I would just like to thank them and also Emma and Adam and Tammy in advance today in case we forget at the end, because the work that's involved in putting together a service is, I'll say, enormous into other things that people have in their lives. So it's a labor of love, but I think we should all acknowledge it.
Good morning. All right, can you hear me? All right. So public speaking's a bit out of my comfort zone, but here goes. I was born in 1959 in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and lived there until the age of 18. Scranton and the surrounding area is historically known for one thing, and no, it's not The Office. I have not even watched that show. Jesse, first slide. I'm sorry, Adam. Oh, you got it up there, all right. So in the late 1800s and early 1900s, Scranton and the surrounding areas were booming anthracite coal mining towns. Many miners were immigrants who spoke limited English. They were paid low wages and worked long hours. It was dangerous work under deplorable conditions. So these slides here are not my personal, I got them from the Library of Congress, citing my source. And the one on the left are the miners in the mines, and the ones on the right were called breaker boys. They started working in the mines often before even becoming teenagers. So in my research, there were some as young as 6 years old working there. They spent long days on their feet, hunched over conveyor belts, picking and sorting the coal as it came up from the mines. The miners working underground were hundreds of feet below in complete darkness for 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. Their lives were often cut short with mine shaft collapses, explosions, and the effects of breathing in the coal dust. Most families lived in company towns where everything from their doctor visits, if they could afford them, to groceries were charged against their wages, and the average wage was about $375 a year. This kept the workers living in poverty and indebted to the company. Second slide, please. So in 1902, the anthracite coal strike was a major labor dispute where 147,000 Pennsylvania anthracite coal miners went on strike. It lasted for 163 days, from May 12th to October 23rd. Miners wanted a 20% higher wage, 8-hour workdays, and union recognition. The strike threatened to shut down the winter fuel supply for major cities. President Theodore Roosevelt intervened and threatened to nationalize the mines, which forced the mine owners to negotiate. The strike ended with the miners receiving a 10% wage increase and a 9-hour workday. And while they did not win union recognition, it was a significant victory for organized labor. The strike marked the first time the US government intervened in a labor dispute by mediating between both sides rather than just automatically supporting management. The third slide, please. So both of my grandfathers worked for mining companies. My dad's father is the top slide there. He's the one, the one in the middle, and that's my dad in front of him. So my dad's father was a miner, and he was born in 1899. He was a member of Local 844 of the United Mine Workers Association, and he was chairman of his local unit's grievance committee. He died from black lung disease at the age of 53 when my father was only 17. My grandmother received a small monthly survivor's benefit. However, it couldn't have been much because she worked in a local factory and lived in the same second-floor apartment for over 50 years. The other picture is me with 2 of my brothers. There were 8 of us eventually. We thought we were going hiking with my dad. I still remember that day. What we were hiking was piles of rock, dirt, and coal fragments. They were considered worthless or uneconomical to process for fuel, and they were called the comb piles, or let's see. So it's spelled C-U-L-M. I can remember vaguely them talking about the home dumps, but I just thought they were saying column. I didn't, I learned some things looking up for this talk too. But these towering piles dominated the landscape of coal-producing regions, and you can get an idea of the size by the houses down below. So yeah, not everybody hikes beautiful mountains. So the death of my grandfather was not something that my father ever talked about, but it shaped his perspective on the importance of unionizing for fair working wages and conditions. In 1970, he was employed as a department manager at the Food Fair grocery chain. In October of 1970, a strike began at Food Fair stores in the Scranton area and surrounding counties. It involved hundreds of clerks and meat cutters. The union sought a new contract with wage increase and improved benefits. The strike lasted for a month and ended when a tentative agreement was reached on November 25th. My dad's earnings supported my mom and 5 children, but he was not going to cross a picket line. I remember this being a very stressful time for my parents. It was the first time I saw strikers with signs and heard the word scab. The message of solidarity for change made an impact on my 11-year-old self. So 4th slide, please. This is the last. So fast forward to life in Connecticut and my adult self. In 1999, I was hired as a school librarian in the New Haven Public Schools. The union there was the AFT, the American Federation of Teachers. It was my first job with union protection, and I joined proudly. The following year, I left for a shorter commute and went to the Griswold Public School System, where there I became a part of the NEA, CEA, the National and Connecticut Education Associations. So this is my 26th year of belonging to that. And over the years, I've been a part of important changes for educators. I've never had to worry about a strike and lost wages due to Connecticut's binding arbitration laws. In Scranton, the schools go on strike probably every 3 years. I found that membership dues are a small price to pay, and union involvement is equally important. In 2007, we rallied at the Flanders Four Corners in East Lyme to keep the promise for legislation to start refunding the teacher pension system. Post-COVID, the Connecticut educators, we just finally won a legal right to a 30-minute lunch. So that was just, I think, 3 years ago, we finally got a 30-minute lunch. And they have to legally provide us with it. I've also had the opportunity to be a member of several contract negotiation teams. I've gained valuable insight into the give and take each step of that process entails. In 2018, there was an opening for one of the 3 building reps in my school. So serving in this way has led me to closely follow national and state level legislation. One of the most important wins, and one I thought I would never see in my lifetime, was just this past January when the windfall elimination provision was repealed by the Social Security Fairness Act. And it was signed into law on January 5th, 2025. I was watching in real time at 12:35 a.m. or p.m. a.m. in the morning. Sorry. I literally cried tears of joy because this is making a huge difference for me to retire. This was the result of multiple large unions working together for years to overturn an unfair law that financially penalized teachers, firefighters, police officers, and federal workers who had contributed to the Social Security system in previous employment or second jobs. The annual summer conference is a lot of fun, so it's not all serious business. That's me up there at Foxwoods 3 weeks ago. So it's an opportunity to network with 500 colleagues from across the state. And in this year, I will be retiring. I've already paid dues, have paid up my dues for a lifetime CEA retired membership. They got me at the conference. But I did win a $100 gift card in a drawing. So that helped offset some of the costs. I'm looking forward to the next steps of my journey. So on this Labor Day weekend, please remember that whether you're in a union or not, standing up for what we collectively believe makes us stronger together. And right now, that is exactly what our country needs. Blessed be.
Good morning. I'm Nora O'Farrell, a newish member here at All Souls, and happy to have found this welcoming, dynamic, and fun community, spiritual community. I'm honored to have been asked to share a reflection, but wasn't sure I was the right person for the job, as I've never actually worked in a union shop. But my training as a social worker led the organizers of today's service to believe I'd have something to share about social justice and the labor movement. With the United States as it is currently, I decided it's too big a task to focus on any current events. Couldn't go there. So we'll share a quick review of Labor Day and the lesser-known International Workers' Day, otherwise known as May Day. So how did Labor Day come about, and why don't we celebrate workers like the majority of countries on May 1st? Don't get me wrong, I like Labor Day. I like how it wraps up the summer, transition us into fall, and kickstarts new routines. Pumpkin spice latte, anyone? But I also like May 1st and celebrating the International Workers' Day. I like the global connection, the solidarity. 90 countries celebrating workers all on the same day, pretty powerful. The International Workers' Day was designated by the Socialist International Group during a meeting in Paris in 1989. The holiday memorialized a series of protests beginning on May 1st, 1886, when striking workers in Chicago were brutalized by police, resulting in deaths, injuries, and incarcerations. Unions had been building after the Industrial Revolution, dramatically changed work conditions worldwide to the detriment of workers. We had unsafe working conditions, child labor, long work days, low wages, substandard housing. Labor Day was already established in the US at that point. In 1882, on the first Monday in September, the first Labor Day parade took place in New York as the culmination of a national workers' convention. States then began to recognize the date, with New York and Oregon following the way. In 1894, Congress passed a law designating it as a national holiday. So for a while, we ended up with two workers' holidays, both coming out of the same workers' movement. The September date was sanctioned by the US government and widely promoted by large labor unions. But in the 1900s, May Day was sidelined in the US for being too radical. In the 1950s, during the Red Scare, fear of communism, President Eisenhower even went so far as to declare May 1st Loyalty Day, a special day for the reaffirmation of loyalty to the United States of America. I'm afraid we're going to get back there again. What are the differences for people living in countries celebrating May Day versus us here in the US? I will focus on Ireland, where I have traveled many times. I could focus on differences in employment agreements, mostly like we have at-will employment mostly here, allowing for easy and no-cause termination, versus mandated individual contracts for every single employee in Ireland. Alternately, I could expand on differing labor laws with more expansive protections there versus here. Maybe folks might be interested in differences in workplace safety. In 2023, the US ranked the second most unsafe country in the world. Ireland was the 12th safest country. But I think about my Irish relatives and friends' unemployment experiences. The number one thing that strikes out to me is how much time they have off. Something I value dearly. I like my downtime. A couple of weeks ago, here in a service, a member spoke of the benefits of AI. Are you here? Oh, thank you very much. Gave me the idea. So I Googled things like workers' rights in Ireland versus the US and mandated time off in Ireland versus the US. AI summarized a whole bunch of information that I would have spent hours researching. I'm not sure where they draw their information from, or that it's even correct. I don't know. But this is what I learned. The U.S. has no cap on the maximum number of hours worked per week, but does mandate time and a half for non-exempt employees after working 40 days. So there's no maximum number. An employee can determine how many hours we are going to work. Ireland mandates a 48-hour maximum work week for all employees, creating a culture where no one is working extended hours. It makes such a difference over there. With regards to time off, the U.S. has no federal mandate for any paid time off. Some states created mandates for minimum paid sick time for eligible employees, and other states' employers are free to develop their own policies. Contrast that in Ireland, where by law, employees are eligible for annual paid time off, so this is paid time off, 20 vacation days, 10 public holidays, and for sick time, 5 days at 70% pay. So we're talking 0 days versus 35 days for full-time employees paid, okay? Quite the difference. In regards to leaves, here in the US, the Family and Medical Leave Act mandates some employers provide time off up to 12 weeks for eligible employees for birth or adoption, to manage medical conditions, or to take care of family members. Like sick time, some states and employers created some paid FMLA policies. Ireland mandates more leave for more reasons and with pay, funded by pay-related social insurance contributions, a tax for both employers and employees. Paid leaves for eligible workers include maternity leave. This is paid now. 26 paid weeks, plus an optional 16 more unpaid. Paternity or co-parent leave, 2 weeks paid at the birth of a child or adoption. Adoption leave for one parent, 24 weeks, plus an optional 6 weeks unpaid. Again, this is all paid, folks. Parents leave, 9 weeks paid for each parent to be taking it the first 2 years of child's life, so later, even after birth, parents can take time off. Domestic violence leave, 5 days of paid leave within a 12-month period for employees affected by domestic violence. And this last one, I love this, force majeure leave, meaning superior force, something out of our control. Limited paid leave for urgent family emergencies due to illness or injury, 3 days per 12 months. One last thing, so this was all paid time. Additionally, they have what's called a carer's leave, a minimum of 13, a maximum of 104 weeks of unpaid leave to provide full-time care for a person in need. Imagine that. I can keep my job and care for someone for a long time that needs it. People there have time off, time to have fun, time to take care of themselves or someone they love. They have a very different work-life balance there. How's our work-life balance? Pretty awful here. We work a lot here, starting early, staying late, working multiple jobs, sometimes when we're sick. Work deprives us of time with family and friends, time away from our children, our elders, and others who may need us to be present. Less time to cook nutritious meals, less time for rest and rejuvenation. This takes a toll on our health, physical and mental, relationships and communities. I believe we can do better. And so tomorrow on Labor Day, I'll enjoy my day off, sleep in, I like that, relax a bit and have fun spending time with family and friends. But because I'm so distressed, depressed, angry, whatever you guys can all fill in your words, about the current state of affairs, I'll also be marching in the streets, loudly protesting for better workers' rights, but also to uphold our democracy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, both of you. That was a wonderful lesson in history. A lesson in history, and tomorrow we'll make an announcement at the end, but out here at the courthouse from 10 to 12. And I think you mentioned Westerly also?
I'm going to be going up to Boston.
Oh, up to Boston.
There is a protest in Westerly.
And also Niantic, but we'll have our announcements and reminders at the end. So hopefully a lot of us will turn out. Now it's time for our offering, and so let's say this together, please. We give to the work of all souls. Our work weaves the fabric of love called community. To this end, we dedicate ourselves and this our offering. Thank you all for your contributions, with your time and financial contributions. It's much appreciated. Now we've reached the time in our service, the sharing of our joys and our sorrows. If you're online, we invite you to put whatever you'd like to share into the chat. And for those of you who are here, please feel free to come forward, and Judy will be our match giver outer, and you're welcome to come forward now. I think this is a joy in our book. This is from Grace Pankow. Grace, at last, has moved into an apartment at the Groton AHEPA. I don't know if we say that as a word or... AHABA? Okay, thank you. Oh, beautiful. Welcome home, Grace. Congratulations, Grace. Let me just check the online. Okay, we do have something here. This is from Eleanor McClellan. Jim and I are heading to Acadia National Park to relish in the astonishing beauty there. We are grateful for the many different hands and hearts that help make this possible on so many levels. That sounds like a wonderful trip, Acadia up in Maine, so good for you. Here, this is from Rose Joyner. I'm asking for prayers for the Joyner family in crisis. Our hearts go out to you, Rose, and we will pray for you. Is that my phone? What is that? Where is that coming from? I don't think so. That looks like it's it for today. So, let's just spend a moment or two in silence for a meditative silence, please. Do you know what that is? It's not me. Okay. Now, as a special treat, Emma, who studied music, I found out this morning, not only music, but statistics, so she's multi-talented. She's going to play for us a Pete Seeger song, Which Side Are You On? And the words will be up there on the screen for us to sing along.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell of how the good old union has come in here to
Thank you, Emma. We're at the time in the service where we're going to extinguish the chalice, and I invite Judy or Nora, or both, to come up and we'll read these words together. Our worship has ended, but our service is not yet done. May our spirits be renewed and our purpose resolved as we meet the challenges of the week. Our chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our communion. Let's go forth today. I ask the people in the online pews, you can put your hand on your heart. If you're here in person, if you want to reach your hand out. And just a reminder to all of us as we go forth today and celebrate Labor Day, always remember, without the caring work, no other work is possible. Amen. Quickly, we have 5 announcements, all important. If you're new today or newish and would like to learn more about All Souls and UUism, head to the welcome table over there. And Lynn, there's Lynn. She'd be happy to chat with you. The office is closed tomorrow, September 1st, obviously for Labor Day, and Tuesday we'll be back in at 9 a.m. Very important news that we've mentioned already, 10 to 12 tomorrow. There's a rally in front of the New London Courthouse, which is just right over there. Workers over billionaires. We heard about how tough things are in the U.S. for our workers and how good in other countries. So let's get out there with your signs, your flags, your love of country, love of each other, and democracy and justice. If you can't get to the morning rally, Niantic from 4 to 6. Democracy is not going to save itself. Next Sunday, Reverend Vertus will be at the pulpit. Yay! It's Water Communion Sunday. And what that means for those of us who haven't experienced before, this ritual symbolizes the merging of diverse experiences into a unified community with water. Bring your water from wherever, a trip, your faucet, your favorite coffee shop, and come together to start the church year. It's also Pies for Peace. Yeah. This annual event has carried forward the spirit of healing and generosity through homemade pies and free offerings. So I believe on a nice day we gather outside, right? And you don't have to bring a pie. There's plenty of pies, but if you so desire, you can bring a pie. All donations this year will go to Immigration Advocacy and Support Center here in New London. That's an organization that helps our immigrants in need. Again, if you're new and you want to learn about more about All Souls, Becoming and Belonging sessions for those interested will be held on 2 dates. You only need to come to one. The first date is October 19th, and then the repeat of that will be on November 9th, immediately following the service, and it lasts about 90 minutes. Please consider attending if you want to learn more about our congregation and UU in general. And then as a reminder for all of us, New Member Sunday is December 7th. Any other announcements here that we forgot? Yes, Janet, please, and then Katrina.
There's a work party. We're working almost every week. Everybody's welcome to do the outside, to put on mulch and compost and dirt and topsoil and stone and everything needed. So see me afterward, I'll be here. I'm Katrina.
We all know Katrina. We need to prepare you. We've had a coffee fiasco. We don't have the big coffee pot. So we have some decaf, we have tea, we have a Keurig for those who must have a cup. There's just not a lot of coffee today. I'm sorry. There's lots of treats though. And we have lemonade. But I just want you to be prepared.
Oh, yes, we have one more. Sue back there.
Tomorrow is Kyle's birthday.
Should we sing now or sing at coffee? Okay. Happy birthday to you. class is over. You are dismissed.